Metallica are one of the biggest bands in history, selling over 58 million albums, countless world tours, and featuring in Rolling Stone's top 100 greatest artists of all time. And at the heart of this success has been their longtime lead guitarist, Kirk Hammett. By the end of the 80s, and at the age of 27, Kirk was on top of the metal world and about to embark on the process of writing their biggest commercial success with the Black Album. So how do you write international hits by the age of 27? Well, in this video I'm going to share 5 pieces of timeless songwriting advice from Kirk that you can use in your own songwriting. Welcome in, my name is Matt and I create videos that help everyone to write songs. And one thing I've learnt from the greatest songwriters is that they always have a clear process for generating ideas and turning them into songs. With that in mind, let's start with Kirk's first tip. Put as much as yourself into your music as you can.
But, the secret of it is just put as much of yourself as you can into it, as much of your own personality, technique, quirks, instinct, when people say don't do that, do it. And then you can't fail. It will sound like you.
The thing that Kirk's getting here is that you need to put your own personality into your music. Now this can be easier said than done. An easy step you can try in this process is just to songwrite. Write what you feel and see what comes out. Now this can be difficult as a beginner because maybe you've got an idea in your head but you can't get it onto the page or into your instrument. And this is where a bit of music theory can help you. But music theory can also constrain you because you feel like you can only work in this box and you can't create the sound that you would like. So don't get too bogged down in rules about what you can and can't write. There really aren't any rules when it comes to songwriting. So just give something a go and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then move on to another idea. Just experiment and have fun with it. You need to take the perfection out of the process. You're never going to write a perfect song. No one ever writes a perfect song because that doesn't exist. So just try your best with the process and see what you produce. Chances are it will be terrible. And if you're comfortable with producing terrible work, then that's a brilliant first step as a songwriter. But you never know. You might create something amazing and it might be the next big hit or your personal favourite song that you've written. And that's all that matters really. Write for yourself and take chances. Kirk's next tip is to rely on other people for perspective.
Sometimes you need to rely on other people for perspective because a lot of times, your perspective and your instinct, while always true, won't hold weight with other people. Could be true with you and resonate with you, but not necessarily with other people. And that's totally fine.
As songwriters, it's easy to keep everything in-house. By that I mean you want to be a bit of a control freak. You want to write everything, you want to control everything. But sometimes seeking other people's opinions can help to improve your own songwriting. It can be really beneficial to get out of your own head and see what people think of your work. Something that you've been working on that you think is fantastic and the greatest thing you've ever done might not resonate with someone. Now I know it can be a bit intimidating and you don't want your feelings hurt or you don't want people to judge you, but if you can find someone you trust, whose opinion you trust and who's going to be honest with you and maybe not too harsh but give you some positive feedback, then that is really beneficial for your songwriting. It could be a friend, a bandmate, a family member. This is where a songwriting group can be really beneficial, where you workshop ideas with each other and you feel you're in a safe space that you can share songwriting ideas and get songwriting advice back. So consider those sorts of things if you're struggling. And as Kirk suggested, something that is a spark of an idea for you can be a lightning rod for someone else who can then take your whole song to a new level. The saying that 2 heads are better than 1 can often work well in songwriting. So many of the great songs are written within great songwriting partnerships. Lennon and McCartney, or Elton John and Bernie Taupin, for example. It just goes on and on. There's often 2 people who really click when it comes to songwriting. So see if you can seek someone else out to up your songwriting game. The next idea to writing hit songs is don't think too much.
And I sincerely believe that if you think too much about the creating process, then you're holding yourself back. You're actually getting in your own way. The best way to create is to just be present in the moment, open up your mind, and see what comes.
So this relates back to the first point in many ways. If you don't think too much, then you're going to pour yourself and your personality out onto the page, and you're not going to allow rules or music theory to block you. So you can be present and allow the music to flow through you, and things become more spontaneous. It's a bit like jamming with someone. Suddenly ideas come out of nowhere, and then you think, oh, that's great, I'll keep that, or I'll get rid of that and change that. Because you're just working on things on the fly and it's dynamic and things change, you never know what's going to come up. And that can be great. You're not overthinking it. You're kind of being instinctive with your songwriting then. And in a way, your subconscious will bring out your personality, and any knowledge you have, music theory or otherwise, will flow through you. So you don't have to consciously think about it. So again, a bit of music theory, which you can learn on this channel or on YouTube or anywhere, can be beneficial, but it's not the be all and end all of the songwriting process. So many of the great songwriters will say that they have more of an instinctive thing, whether it's come to them at the early hours of the morning or in a dream, or they're just jamming with their bandmates and things suddenly appear, and then a song can form within minutes. And that comes down to the instinctive nature of songwriting and less about sitting down and being formulaic and thinking, okay, this happens here and then this must happen because this certain chord is in between, or any sort of constraints like that. So just see what happens when you songwrite and open your mind a little, and you never know. Try not to box yourself in with rules. The next tip is be intentional.
If you notice, almost all our songs, before the guitar solo, there's a setup. Before the guitar solo,
Right.
something dynamic happens, so the guitar solo takes off, and that's very, very intentional.
Yeah.
And I almost demand that. Something needs to happen so that when we set up to the plate, boom, the band goes somewhere else.
So you want to be intentional with your songwriting and your song arrangements. That means there's a point to what you're writing, and what you're writing is going somewhere. You're building up to something. So as Kirk suggested, Metallica will always build up to a solo. They'll change something, build up anticipation and tension so that the song can lead somewhere and then go off. So it's a good idea to try and set up future sections, and this can signpost where your song's going. Now, you don't always want to do that. Sometimes a bit of a surprise, a bit of a shock can be great in songwriting. But if you're intentional with it, whether that's intentionally surprising the listener or intentionally signposting where you're going or giving the listener a heads up of where you're going, then that can be a really positive thing, because then your song has purpose. It has drive. So you can do this by increasing the tempo of your song at certain sections, increasing the rate at which you change chords, introducing certain chords or certain playing styles that are building up to something, or maybe bringing in chords or notes from outside of your key to increase dissonance and tension that way, that then can be released or go somewhere else with a key change or a return back to a tonic, for example. Lots of ideas that you can have to signpost where you're going or signpost that something's going to change. You could also do it with production or effects on your guitar, for example. Think of your song as having peaks and valleys. It's going up and then it's coming down. The tension's coming up and then it's coming down. Even the most basic chord progression, 1, 4, 5 in a major key, is all about building up tension and having resolution. So think of your song as a bigger version of that. There's lots of smaller bumps and peaks within the song, and then the song as a whole has bigger peaks and valleys. And that can be done, as I said, with lots of ways, through different choices of chords, through different production choices, through volume, through tempo. There's loads of ways to do it, but just experiment with the idea that your song is going to have high points and low points. And next is maybe the most important idea: just have fun.
James and I are just looking for guitar riffs that are fun to play. The guitar riff has to be fun to play. It can't be a slog.
Write what you want to hear. Write what you want to play. Don't worry too much about other people. If you enjoy playing a certain riff, then there's a good chance you're going to be able to create a good song out of that because you love playing it. And if you're going on to perform it, then you're going to love performing it as well. And that will shine through not only in the songwriting, but in your own performances. And people will resonate with that. If you think, I've got a great riff, but it's really technical and I'm not sure where else it would go and it slows me down, maybe discard that or put it to one side and see how you could simplify it. But make sure what you do is fun. Think about why you got into playing the guitar, playing an instrument, or songwriting in the first place. Often it was to have fun, maybe with bandmates, maybe to impress people, but having fun is key to progressing as a songwriter. There's a joy in just creating something and then being able to play it. So if something's fun, you're more likely to create it and use it and play it and show it off to someone else. And again, some of the earlier tips about not overthinking things and being more instinctive play into this. If you're being instinctive, then it's more likely something that you're easily able to play or easily able to write, and then it's probably more fun to play, and then you're more likely to play it. It's a virtuous circle of having fun and being creative and continuing the process. And then you become more infused with what you're doing and you're more likely to continue it, which ultimately is what we want. We want you to continue to songwrite. It's a lifelong love and a lifelong craft. And at the heart of that is having fun. I have to admit at this point that you might have just wasted your time. The thing is, everything Kirk just told you is completely useless if you don't know how to write a song. Watch the video on screen next for a really simple starting point for writing songs.